All right, let's get into the JavaScript element. So this one here is going to be the magic 8-ball type thing. Oh, I'm in the wrong document, no wonder. Sorry, my bad. So, say that. Go into that one. Much better. Okay, so let's link our style sheet. So link relay equals style sheet. Shref equals styles. Styles, because I misspelled that. Rename STYLES. There we go. STYLES, yep. Finish that off. Right, and we also want to link this JavaScript code. So we just go script source equals, see it's already prompting us for a source. .js is for JavaScript, and then there we go. So that's how you link an external JavaScript file. You could just go like this and go and write JavaScript in there. And this document totally is small enough to do that in. But in the interest of you guys learning how to do external JavaScript files and keeping things a little bit more efficiently organized and just learning a bit better practices, this is just a little bit more structured. Right. Because I'm so exhausted at 4:20. Okay. So we're gonna have a body, of course. I don't need a nav. I want to write a form, and there is a form tag for doing forms. The issue is for when you're trying to do a form, which is when you put like your inputs and stuff in, and you use the form tag. It has this whole refreshing thing going on, so it kind of like it refreshes and resets the form basically straight back to its start state straight away. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to give it a div class of form. And obviously this needs to be a div now. Because that'll avoid doing that. Okay, so firstly I want to have, actually I probably just need a straight up, just need a button, to be perfectly honest with you. So so in the button I'm going to call it 8-ball, right? When I click the button, I want something to happen, so I'm going to say on click equals, and I'm going to call a function that's going to be written in here, and I'm going to be called, I don't know, help. It's going to be called help, the function. Okay, it's going to run the help function. Okay, so that's it. There's pretty simple. So let's just have a little wee peek and see what we've got. It's going to look pretty bare bones. There you go. That's it. So I'll go to the style sheet and I'll do some fluffing. Background color black. Button. Margin. Auto. Padding. I don't know. 20 pixels sounds nice. Width. 100 pixels. Backgrounds. Color. Black. Border. 2 pixels. Solid. I don't know. White. And I'm just going to say color white for the text. Right, so this is just getting your color. This is trying to push it to the middle. This is actually giving some spacing around the button. This is giving the button an actual width itself. This is going to make sure that the fill on the button is black. This is going to put a border around the thing that's black. Button click. Is it click? Right, anyway, for the hover, I'm going to go background color, I don't know, white, I guess. Color black. We'll see if it works. Oops, right. I should probably make a font size. Font dash family Century Gothic, because that's how I roll. And font dash size of 25 pixels sounds lovely. Right, that seems to be working. I'm going to make the background color red. Right, so it's not pulling up that. If I say color in here, red, let's see if it works. Oh, yep, so it is working. Okay, so color white in there. Why is this font not working? Oh, it is working. Right. Font size. Display block. Is that why it's not wanting to give a width? Or is 100 just really small? Yeah, it was. Right, okay. Right, so I've tidied that up. And I've got this. And I'm going to change that hover color background to white. Right, and so then when I click, I want it to, bang, do something. So probably first things first, if we want to just even test that it's working, I'm going to write function, and it's called help. And then I'm going to go alert. And here I'll just say working. Because before you get carried away, it's always nice to test. Okay, the reason why it's not working is because there was a typo in here, or I had done something wrong in here, and so, you know, not working. Okay, so let's get into here. So I can do my list of options. I could do it in the function or out of the function. I'll do it out of the function just because I can. So I'll call it options. Oops, hold on. I should say var options equals square bracket. So what we want to say in our options then is option 1 is going to be then duck and cover. I don't know, because we're in an apocalypse, I guess, aren't you? Use the force. Plunge of time. Use your these as a mask. Right, you get the idea. Some fantastic advice in here. This is exactly why you use things like an 8-ball rather than using your brain. Okay, so what we want to do then is I need to have basically an option number. So I'll be kind of like var option num equals actually it should be random option, sorry, because we're getting the random option. So rand option num, right, equals, you're gonna go math dot floor math dot random times by, and then essentially you just be like 9, and it will basically get a number from 0 to 9, and we want 0, 1, 2, 3. So you could do that, or we can just go options dot length, and it will just spit out, you know, the number of options that's in here. So that works for getting your random number option. Don't need that in there anymore. Right. We need to basically spit out some text. So to do that, we're going to go here, and I need a position for some text. So I'm going to go p, have nothing in it. I'm going to give it an ID. You can give it a class, but classes are a little bit more frustrating when trying to grab things. The only time you'd use a class when doing JavaScript type things, excuse me, yeah, no, the wait suspense, is when you're having multiple things and you're wanting it all to change in the same way. So like if I had a couple of these and I want them all to be receiving the same change because I'm doing like a price update and then suddenly everything's being affected by 20% or whatever the case may be, then you'd use classes, because ID, it'll only recognize one of them. So it'll either, I'm imagining it'll probably only do the last one or the first one, but never this one. So ID for reference, and then I'm just going to call it ID. I don't know, do this, whatever makes sense, I guess. So there's a p tag set there. I can grab this very quickly and go dot do this color, I don't know, gold, because it's a great idea. Size equals 40 pixels and margin 20, and text align center. Right, so that should make it present all right. All right, so what we want to do then is we want to grab this, so we can say be empty if you're not empty, and then we can say shove some text in. So to do that, we will say document dot get, document dot get element by ID. That makes sense. So in this document, so always do document first. So document dot get an element by its ID. So we write in here in brackets the ID. The idea is do this. Pretty sure. Do this. Yep. Right. Dot inner HTML equals, and I'm just going to say empty text. Then effectively, because that's this one here is actually just going clear That's what that one's doing. Let's clear the previous text. This one here is enter text. Right, so what we're going to do is we want to grab from the options array. I want to specify effectively a number. But because I want this number to be random, I'm going to use my random thing that is random based on the amount of options I have. So when I save this now, we click it, use the force, duck and cover, plunge the time, you get the idea. I can go, why have you not gone center? Why are you so small? Ah, I know why. Such an egg. Such an egg. I did it like it was a class. It was a dot. Should be a hashtag for a ID. There we go. Duck and cover. There we go. So yeah. So this is then that. Because if I remove this line here, I'm pretty sure it won't clear out my options anymore. So when I do it, oh no, it just straight up replaces it. Okay, yeah, well there you go. So that line there was irrelevant. But yeah, you will find sometimes it's handy to be able to say, just clear the option out because you're trying to shove in new things and it ends up just tacking it on the end. Very goodly. So if I was to count out my JavaScript lines, we've got, 1, 2, 3, 4, counting this, and then obviously your array. So 4 plus an array. That's it, really. And the only thing that you needed to know that was a bit tricky, not that that's tricky, is just getting used to doing this on click here to then fire a function. On click, do this. You can do this on hover. I think it's on hover or mouse over. On mouse over, I think. So yeah, so you can do it is on a bunch of different options depending on what you're doing. On click is really nice because if you're on a phone, on a touch device, then effectively your touch is a click. Where hover is impossible really to do on a touch device. So this is why this on click's quite nice to be able to do. Particularly because you're in an apocalypse running around with a phone, you're like, quick, 8-ball, give me help. Then you use that, yeah. So there we go. That's it in all its glory, and have fun with that.